Am I the asshole for replacing myself with my twin brother at my in-laws Christmas Eve party to see if anyone noticed? I'm 31 and have an identical twin brother. For a while I've told my wife that none of her family members notice me or care about anything I do on Christmas Eve, but they insist on me attending. She told me that's not true. They genuinely like me and enjoy talking to me. But I know that the only times they've included me, I had to basically insert myself into conversations, and it feels awkward and unnatural. So I had a wager with my wife. Bring my twin brother Steve instead of me and see if anyone notices. I purposefully did not prep Steve on anything. He went in completely clueless. He knew why we were doing it and was game. I gave him $20. As I suspected, Steve confirmed that he wasn't approached all night. Nobody could tell he wasn't me, and he admitted he even felt excluded, and he could only imagine how I felt. So this morning on Christmas I invited Steve to join. Normally he's with my mom and dad every year as he's not married or in a relationship. They know about him obviously, but didn't know about the switcheroo. That was when I revealed that last night I was Steve and expressed disappointment that nobody noticed and said this is why I stopped trying. Nobody talks to me. My wife drew the line here. She was hoping we would keep this between the two of us as a funny prank. But how can I expect her family to see what jerks they've been if I don't expose it? FWIW Steve was fine. If this is real I'm going to go with Ash. You should have kept it between yourself and your wife to prove a point that you shouldn't have to go see her family. Yes, what her family does sucks and makes them up. But you really have no hope for that ever changing. People tend not to change shitty behaviors if called out. By doing what you did you've now made a bad situation worse. You were fine up until the public confrontation. That was completely unnecessary and puts you firmly in YTA territory. Everyone sucks, minus your wife really. The family sucks for giving so little of a fuck about you, but you also suck for feeling you had to bring up the issue on Christmas Day. Not only does that make people feel super shitty, be it anger, guilt, sadness, or whatever, but you also risk making the situation worse and ruining a day that the family were likely looking forward to. Everyone sucks. Well done though. If they were merely indifferent to you before, they surely hate you now. Nobody likes to feel they have been made a fool of. They are unlikely to see themselves as a although clearly they are, but they'll certainly view you as one. What was their response to this little revelation? Everyone sucks. Your in-laws seem like but publicly shaming them without consulting your wife first was a major move. Since she was complicit in the plan, you telling off your in-laws reflects on her too, so you should have consulted with her and decided what to do together. Info: what's your goal? Do you want to be accepted / treated better, or do you want to expose your in-laws' jerkiness and rub it in? Because these two goals are mutually exclusive. This has to be a post, but if not, you're the asshole. At first I was going to go with everyone sucks here, because they're your family too. Clearly they should be paying more attention than this. But then you did a very move of attempting to humiliate them and dragged your wife through it with you. Shitty husband move. Shitty in-law move. You're the asshole, and you sound like a child. Oh, they don't take notice of me. Oh, they couldn't tell the difference between me and my twin brother. Oh, they don't go out of their way to treat me like a child who needs his hand held. For fuck's sake, you're an adult. Yes, it's on you to be interesting enough that people want to have a conversation with you. You're the asshole. So much so it's not even close to where everyone sucks. So your wife went along with it thinking it was between the two of you. Well, 3 I guess. That wasn't enough, so you went and shamed her family on Christmas to cause drama, as you said yourself that you had no intention of this changing them. So at the end of the day, they now think you are antisocial, dramatic and an asshole. But wait, there is more. You also did this to your wife. Now they know she was in on it, putting her in a shitty spot. You didn't think about anyone but yourself, which is probably why her family doesn't care about you. Also, it's not normal for people to think, oh, that could be his twin when your wife comes with him to Christmas. You're not the asshole. It sucks that your wife thinks it's okay for her family to treat you that way. If my family was treating my husband to feel left out, I'd just leave and spend the time with my husband alone. I don't know all the details, but based on your story, I think it's pretty selfish of your wife to bring you, or your twin brother, to her toxic family and think it's all good. You're the asshole. I'm also an identical twin, and incidentally a mother of identical twins. Them not recognizing you proves nothing. There are plenty of people who adore my children, but have difficulty telling them apart. I have many good friends who have or had difficulty telling me apart from my sister. Incidentally, male identical twins are more similar than female identicals. I can't remember exactly why. Something to do with chromosomes, I think. I would also say feeling ignored is subjective. Different families have different communication styles and they might not notice they are ignoring you when they are busy catching up with each other. The whole gotcha thing is rude and immature. You could have asked your wife to help include you in the conversation, or asked her to have a word with them without all the drama. Everyone sucks. I was 100% with you until you confronted everyone. You should have had a heart-to-heart with your so about how this made you feel, and had her gently approach her family about the problem. I agree that it's a major problem, but your actions probably just exacerbated it. You're the asshole. Just a little for trying to expose them for something not worth exposing. What will this accomplish? An awkward tense situation or backfire? It's decent and courtesy to make you feel welcomed, but no one is required to be your best friend. You're the asshole and kind of weird and an angsty nobody gets me 15-year-old emo sort of way. Except you're in your 30s. Of course nobody noticed or said anything, because nobody would expect you to pull the identical twin switcheroo, because you are an adult and normal well-adjusted adults wouldn't pull something so juvenile. Dude, you're the asshole. Social skills are about including yourself in conversations and learning how to do so appropriately. Of course it's going to be a little bit awkward. You have to do it until you're more comfortable with them. Then you want to rub in their face that you're so incompetent at social gatherings you pay your brother $20 to act like you. Fuck man. Just spend a night with family and suffer through it like the rest of us. You might make a friend if you stop thinking everyone is going to crawl on their hands and knees and ask you 90 questions that you totally want to answer. Quit thinking everyone is out to get you. You're not the asshole. I've been the excluded, so I absolutely hated it. I only wish I had an identical twin to conduct this social experiment. You had to call them out on the BS as a group. They didn't include you before. What did you have to lose by outing them now as a group? Worst case scenario, they want nothing to do with you in the future, which isn't any different than where you are now. To those saying he's the asshole or everyone's, imagine how it must feel to not be welcomed and to feel awkward. It's not a good place to be. I think everyone sucks here, unless your goal was to make sure that you will likely never have a relationship with your in-laws that's not tense. If that was your goal, mission accomplished. You're the asshole for doing that behind your wife's back. That's going to cause conflict between her and her family. She could have spoken to them on her own terms about the problem. Everyone sucks here, assuming this is real. Folks can't tell you apart from your identical twin brother? Yeah, sorry dude, nothing to be done about that one. Folks don't want to talk to you during a Christmas Eve party? Who knows what's going on here? Maybe they don't like you. Maybe they're bad at small talk. Maybe you're bad at small talk. Maybe you're the only in-law and they're only used to dealing with family on Christmas Eve. Maybe you're the 7th in-law and everyone likes Funny Ivan better than you. Maybe they only see you on Christmas Eve and they don't know how to act around you when you make an appearance. Maybe they heard a rumor involving you and a goat. Lame for them to not ensure that all their guests are having a good time, but dealing with in-laws that you don't get along with is like relationship stereotype number 1. Do what countless millions of introverts the world over have done in group situations where they are not having a good time. Either put the burden of having a good time on yourself and spend time on your phone or book or whatever, or don't show up and claim a prior commitment. If you think it's worth bringing up the issue in the open and forcing a resolution that way, expect your wife to be put in the position of having to choose between your behavior and her family's, which will probably not end well for you. You're not the asshole. You're not an asshole for doing this, but I do think it's a waste of time. If these people already don't care enough about you to notice when you aren't there, it's unlikely that letting them in on your prank is going to make them care. They may pretend to care just to make up for their guilt, but they are unlikely to suddenly start finding you an interesting person to talk to if you weren't before. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Let us know your thoughts on this topic. See you soon.